What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome back to another Warframe video. So, defense missions got reworked in Warframe. They give you loot a lot faster now. And also, Hildryn has been buffed a ton and is extremely fun and efficient to play. So we'll be going over a double duty today. Basically showing you how good defense missions are on the current patch, and also doing a Hildryn build guide because, yeah, she's been really fun with these new changes. So let's hop right in, but before we do, make sure to sub to this YouTube channel. We do daily Warframe video uploads. Make sure that like button as well so more people can see these videos. Tons of build videos and news videos on the way. And I appreciate all the support on the channels, guys. Alright, so let's hop right into what Hildryn's got going on. So as you see the background footage, she can just fly around and destroy everything. Like, you are literally an attack helicopter with this Hildryn setup. And the damage is pretty good, too. Like, we're nuking down, was it this wave, like, 63 in a defense mission with, like, one trigger pull, an entire wave of enemies getting wiped out. So, good stuff there. Now, as far as defense missions, what happened with those, they went from 5 waves, every 5 waves giving you loot, now they give you loot every 3 waves. So, if you're in a void defense mission, which is some big nostalgia for sure, it's a guaranteed relic every 3 waves. So if you have a fissure version of a defense mission in the void, it's open a relic, get a relic back, guaranteed. So let's go ahead and show some of those good ones you can look out for. Now, the best ones to look out for these defense mission fissures, again, are in the void, and those missions will be as follows. I think it's called Taranis and Belinus. Belinus and Taranis are those the best, and make sure they're on Neo if possible. The reason why it'd be Neo is because when you open a Neo relic, some of these missions have a chance of giving you a Neo relic back, or an Axii relic, or even a Aya. So you'd open a Neo, you get a Neo back, or an Axii, basically upgrading your tier of relic, or getting an Aya, which is going to be a guaranteed, resurgence relic. So good stuff. Then look out for those void defense missions. Now, as far as Hildryn in these missions, she's pretty good. I wouldn't call her like the meta, but very good for flying around, hunting enemies down in their spawn, taking them out, and moving on to the next spot. So we're going to show the way to get the most movement speed on Hildryn without using a helmet ability for it, because you could use a helmet ability to go really fast in Hildryn, like Wrathful Advance or Molt. But yeah, I wanted to use Zata's Whisper to buff her pistols even more, so we'll show how to do that today. But yeah, as you can also see, we're getting a ton of Argon crystals as well, so it's just good. The reactant drops are good. It's nice and it's pretty fun too, like, lots of enemy spawns, lots of loot drops. I will say the enemies don't skill up that fast. If you want to pick a level to dip out on, we left on wave 69. The enemies are about level 400. If you go to like wave 90, they're about level 1000. So it gets a little bit harder to defend the objective. So make sure you got some things to make sure the objective doesn't die. We had a Frost and a Wisp. Wisp was going pretty off with this one. Wisp motes help move Hildryn and her ulti a lot faster too. Okay, so now we've talked about what we're doing here. Let's go ahead and show a build, or I'll show you the build I was using in the footage here. We can also show some alternatives as far as what you can use to go faster on Hildryn. So here we are in the sim, and as far as my Hildryn build, I've got Archon Shards as follows. 4 Archon Strength Shards and 1 Blue Shield Capacity Shard. This is not needed at all, but I have so many Blue Shards and don't really use them, so I decided to throw one on Hildryn at least. It does technically benefit our Aegis Gale Augment, because our damage scales off our maximum shields, but a Power Strike Shard probably better in there in the first place. But either way, got a Blue Shard here for shield capacity. And as far as our Hildryn build, this is the build I've been maining on Hildryn on the current patch. Now, it's not a full armor strip build. If you take out overextended, it will be like a 95% armor strip build. You gotta remember, guys, on the current patch in Warframe, DE nerf enemy armor really hard, so full armor strip is rarely needed, if at all, especially for like the levels we're doing right now. So we've got Corrosive Rejection for a chunk of enemy's armor being removed. Pillage removes enemy's armor, 49% with this amount of power strength, but once Molt Augmented stacks up, it'll be like 60-ish% power strength from armor strip per cast, so that's to be added onto this. It'd be like 78%-ish armor removal. So good enough to kill basically anything in the game. But the other stuff on here is going to be a lot of ranged mods. We overextended and stretch. That will buff the AOE size of her Balefire launcher, which will be maining to nuke everything down. Additionally, in our ultimate, we have we've gotten lots of, if you haven't played Hildryn in a while, you might not know about this. You can actually do stuff in her ultimate now, unlike before. So for example, now when you're in her ulti, you can cast Helmet abilities, you can cast Pillage, you can even, you can even fly up and down. You can always do that. But yeah, now you can cast Helmet abilities and cast Pillage. It makes flying around in this a lot easier. So I was talking about that alternate fire mode for the other augment. This is what it is. So Aegis Gale gives an alt fire for our pistol. The primary shot's a shot like this. So good damage, but a little bit slow. Our alt fire is a barrage of shots that scales with our maximum shield. So that's why having a little bit of extra shield capacity is nice, but again, not the most necessary on this, the shard stuff. But, you know, you could totally throw another power shard if you wanted to. Prime Redirection, basically made for Hildryn, a primed shield mod. We've got Transient Fortitude for increased power strength and reduced duration. We got Prime County for increased duration. Now, you don't really need duration on Hildryn, but it does make recasting Xata's Whisper less annoying. Keep in mind that the duration of Pillage will dictate how long the wave has to fly out and come back to you. So you might have to double tap this a couple times if you have higher duration like me. As far as the last mods out here, we got another Power Strength mod, but the big things here are the 2 augment mods for Hildryn. So we got Balefire Surge. Fully charged direct hits restore 250 shields to Hildryn. Impacts with Hildryn's with a nullifier will destroy it and then restore 750 shields. Pretty good on that front because it lets you insta kill nullifiers and gives you shields back. Aegis Gale, the augment for her ulti, now got the alternate fire like we just said, and it scales with your maximum shield. So this stuff's all great. Prime sure footage is nice too because we're not really using Overguard on here, and I've got Xata's Whisper from Zaku giving some this is an extra hit of damage. Hildryn has not the best status chance or crit, but she has very high base damage on her pistol, so this goes pretty well with that. As far as the Arcanes, Arcane Aegis gives us crazy shield regen whenever sometimes when we're damaged, and Multi-Augmented helps us patch up that crazy amount of reduced power strain from overextending. Gives us 60% when we get enough kills. We'll get enough kills very easily. Moving on to the Balefire Launcher, this is the build I mainly use, the Blast Electric one, but in that footage you just saw I was using this build instead. Corrosive, because for some reason I thought they needed it, but those enemies are so easy I could have just stuck with the Blast Electric build. But either way, this is the build I mainly use. So we've got a Blast Electric build because Hildryn has base Electric on her Balefire Launcher. We throw on Blast mods, we have Blast Electric. The funny thing is that it's not going to matter that much because we have 10% status chance, so we're only like going to proc Blast 7% of the time. But we are usually releasing a barrage of bullets, so you'll see some Blast Electric procs every here and there. But yeah, 5% crit chance. Not really much to write home about, so we've got Secondary Enervate, the new Arcane. On hit, with your pistol, increases the crit chance by 10%. Additive, resets after 6 big critical hits. So, yeah, you get a couple shots with that, and you'll be doing orange crits, and it makes your damage a lot higher. So let's go ahead and show that real quick in the sim. Now, don't put any crit chance mods on your pistol, just put on crit damage mods and damage, because, again, she has no status, well, she has 10% status, and she has 10% crit, so very, very pathetically low. Actually, I think it's 5% crit, actually. We just drop all our stuff here, and then we just release the shots. As you can see, orange crits here and there. We get some galvanized stacks, and it's pretty much just GG for these enemies. And yeah, you can just basically spam this as much as you want. There is the new full auto, semi-auto setting, so I can actually hold the button down, too. So hold the button down. How about armor strip, too? So you hold the button down, you can just spam the shots as long as the fire rate's up. And as far as some other buffs to throw on here, too, you got the Aphentis for 30% fire rate. You got the Reinforced Bond from the Kubrow for 60% fire rate. And you can even throw on the Grimoire if you want to for another, I think it's like 40% fire rate. So yeah, those guys are fully armored Vernier, very easy to take out. And we have full shields in the background too, so not too shabby. Moving on to the rest of the loadout stuff here, now that we've gone over the Balefire Launcher, and of course, those guys right there probably would have been better with the Corrosive build, but the Blast Electric can handle it all. I got the Aphentis. Now, the Aphentis, when you throw this bubble down, you can throw this spear gun down, and while you're in the bubble, you'll get increased fire rate, reload speed, and some other stuff too. So you basically get this bubble on the ground, activate your one, get a kill while you're in your one, and you hold the buff for 40 seconds. Now, I would say it's not really super worth doing every time, just because it's annoying to leave your ulti, but you could technically do this to get some more fire rate on your Balefire every here and there. And Balefire with fire rate is pretty good just to spam more shots. As far as the Tenant Cycron, you could replace this with the Grimoire if you wanted to, but realistically, I'm not going to be using the Grimoire anyway. So I got Amalgam Barrel Difusion on here. Augur mods don't work on Hildryn because she has no energy, but this does work in your ulti, making you dodge faster. Pretty good. Now, as far as the most movement speed possible in Hildryn's ulti, I've got the Ruvox here. An alternative is the Okina Incarnon, but the Okina Incarnon will be less movement speed, as this provides, I believe, 30%. Yeah, 30% movement speed. The Ruvox provides 55% once fully stacked. I'm going to show you how to fully stack it right now, okay? So the reason the Ruvox is better on Hildryn for movement speed is because of gathering momentum. Gain 5% movement speed per melee combo multiplier. So at 11x or at 12x multiplier, you will get a 55% movement speed buff. But how are we going to get that? We have to have... An annoying thing about Balefire and her ulti is that it will only snapshot your true maximum combo. So if you get the 12x and activate her 4, it drains it all, even if you have the initial combo to technically get there. So you have to get like crescendo stacks. So basically, everything initial combo. Corrupt Charge, initial combo Ribbon. Is there anything else out here that's initial combo? Looks like that's it. Galvanized Reflex does not work on this. You have to have true, like, full initial combo. We've also got Dispatch Override for 60% more movement speed. So between this and the perk, we'll get 115% movement speed multiplier, which helps a lot in her ulti. Now, of course, like I said, you could throw on, you can have Wisp Motes in your team, you could have Molt from Saren, a lot of other movement speed multipliers work too. But yes, if you want to only get from weapons, this is going to be your best bet. It's a little bit annoying, so we're going to go ahead and use Vazarin Focus Tree to group these enemies up. Use second ability from Vazarin. Get a couple kills here. So let's see right now, we have 55% movement speed multiplier right now, and if I activate by 4, I'll drop a bunch of it. Now it's back down to 30. You have to have true 12x on this. True, like, fully stacked 12x to get that multiplier all the time, or it immediately consumes most of the multiplier when you enter your Aegis form. So, yeah, just do this a couple times in mission. I mean, I'll be honest with you, it's pretty annoying to do this in mission, but it is technically the fastest. So let's see if we have enough now. I'm at 45% movement speed multiplier, so yeah, you get, like, I think, like, 20 finisher kills, and if you're doing a longer mission, this won't be as hard, hopefully. But yeah, if you have teammates nuking stuff down at, like, meta speeds in the background, good luck getting all these finisher kills. But yeah, once you do, come on, let me do the finisher kill. If the game even cooperates, you should be at max, basically max crescendo stacks to get as much movement speed as possible. And I think that should be good. Let's do a heavy attack now. Okay, well, it's refilling it, but as you can see in the background, we are moving relatively fast. With no Wisp Motes, no helmets, buffing our movement speed. And yeah, we can just bombard enemies with this. Very, very fun. Fly around, destroy everything. You can fly up, you can fly down. The closer you are to the ground, the further your AOE CC is, and that's very helpful in defense missions too. So, good stuff there. And yeah, the gathering momentum is fully stacked. So this is basically the movement speed you can expect from this kind of set. It's almost double the movement speed buff of the Okina, but it's like 10 times more annoying than the Okina they actually achieve. So feel free to just use the Okina if you want. You'll move pretty much half as fast, but you'll also not be doing those annoying finishers. So good stuff there. Now moving on to the companion, I've got the Kubrow that I can't remember the name of, the Roxa Kubrow. I've used this thing like 3 times ever. It's called the Shield Kubrow to me, because you got the Protect ability. The Kubrow will come to the defense of its master, replenishing both of their shields by 30% of its maximum shield, and adding its shield regeneration rate to its masters for 3 seconds. So whenever it uses this ability, it's like another second Aegis proc, basically, but a not as good Aegis proc. This will get us from 5,500 shields to like 6,800 shields, and let's just be more chill. Basically, we're spamming our shots from our Aphentis, or from our Balefire launcher, and this will refill our shields are our ammo, basically, so this is another refill of our ammo. We got Link Redirection. Since we're playing Hildryn, it will link the shields to our Hildryn, giving 7,200 shields for the Kubrow. And we got Mecha Recharge for shield regeneration, and Hasten Deflection for even more shield regeneration. With Reinforced Bond, we're going to buff the fire rate of our Balefire, and Tenacious Bond, we buff the crit damage of our Balefire. The rest of this stuff is just pretty much standard Kubrow stuff. Give me some loot radar, give me some extra loot. If you die, come back from the dead faster, and pick up that loot as well. Good doggy. Moving on to the Claws. Oh, actually, the Claws won't be active with the Aphentis, unfortunately. So, yeah, if you do want to rock the Tenacious Bond, maybe don't use the Aphentis or go for crit chance on the Aphentis. So, let's see if we can actually achieve that here. Yeah, that should still be fine with the Aphentis, I hope. Let's see what we got. Let's go ahead and take off... Let's take off Speed Trigger. 65 should be enough. Yeah, there you go. So just throw on Point Strike on your Aphentis if you want to have Tenacious Bond active. I didn't have it active in that footage, but hey, it still nuked them down without Tenacious Bond. So here we are now working with Tenacious Bond, giving our Balefire launcher that increased crit damage that you want. So really good stuff there. And that's basically it for the video, guys. Defense missions are much better than before. And also, yeah, Hildryn is a lot better than before. As far as some other options on Hildryn's pistols and stuff like that, you could definitely rock... Fortifier maybe, or you could rock... I think a Nervate and Fortifier are probably the 2 best. And if you're not running a Nervate, that means you're not going to have as much crit. So just keep that in mind. I think Enerve is the best choice because she has such terrible crit. She pretty much has Kubrow level of crit, and Enerve is godly on the Kubrow. It's also godly on Hildryn. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Appreciate all support. Let me know if you think that you like it with Hildryn in the comments down below, because this is the main build I've been rocking, but there's definitely, like I said, you could run Molt, you could run Wrathful Advance for more movement speed. Okay, into this footage too, we had Wisp modes making me cruising around, so really good stuff. Alright guys, see you next time. Take it easy. Peace.